Warning, this podcast contains bloodlines. What's up, everyone? What the hell?
Yagwai.
What's up, everyone? And
You
welcome.
did that on purpose, you jerk.
No, I didn't. What? I don't know. There's two labeled the same thing. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for the original Season 3, Episode 3. I'll see you in Hell or New Orleans. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Nikki. And my co-host, Mike. How's it going?
It's going.
Sorry, I just rewatched it. Okay, it's going good.
Again?
It's going good.
Oh, I thought you said it's going again. I was going to be like, okay, let's start over. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should have picked up on this a little sooner, but this episode really made it more clear to me that Klaus, Elijah, and Rebecca all kind of have mirrors of themselves in Lucian, Tristan, and Aurora. They're almost like they're little doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some correlation, and even Freya to a degree because of that witch that Lucian is,
I
carrying
don't
around.
know. I think Lucian's more of a Cole than a Klaus.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can see
But I mean, everybody's got there first.
True.
I was gonna see how long that silence would last. Thank you for breaking that. That awkward silence. Yeah, I don't know. We had a lot of the flashbacks though with Lucian and Klaus, just kind of like the whole story, and I mean to a degree it's almost like Damon and Stefan too from the Vampire Diaries falling in love with Aurora, their first love, and I can't even say it's Klaus's first love, but it's his first love as a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Can you really classify that as love? It looks more like lust to me.
Maybe
It could have turned into love.
It seemed more like love to me because he didn't want to say anything to Lucian about it, and he even asked Lucian in the first episode how she was. We didn't get her name, but so Klaus is still intrigued by the whole prospect of it. So I feel like he still hasn't let go completely. But this isn't the first time Klaus has fallen in love with unavailable women.
There is that. Very true.
Yeah.
We had the whole thing with was it Tatia?
No.
The Elena doppelganger?
It was
Yes.
no, Tatia wasn't that one.
Yes, it was. Tatia was the
Oh,
doppelganger
yeah, it was
of
that one.
Catherine.
I'm sorry.
You're thinking
there've
of
been four them.
Katsaya or Katsaya or whatever.
No, Katsaya was
Amara?
the trap. Amara. There we go.
Yeah, Mara's the
Sorry.
original.
Again, there were four of them.
There was too many Elenas.
Yeah.
Too many Nina Dobrevs running around this universe for us to accurately keep tabs on. But yeah, no, it was in this case he's fallen in love with this girl Aurora, and Lucian comes to him, talks to him, and is like, "Can you drop this note? Like, I can't pass this note in class to her because the teacher's gonna get mad. So, can you do it?
Oh my gosh.
That's what it felt like
No.
to me. It felt like grammar school all over again.
Yes, I'm going to do it. However, what I'm really going to do is crumple up in my pocket and go make out with her behind the bleachers.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he did.
I don't remember grammar school like that at all.
No.
No. No.
That was basically my grammar school.
Nope.
No, my grammar school was too small. It was high school,
I
though.
had this girl. I was talking to this girl, and I remember this guy was interested, and he talked to me about it, and then I told him that I'd invite her over to my house so I could talk and figure it out, and she ended up kissing me, and then he found out about it, and he said something to the teacher, and the whole class found out about it. She got all mad. Yeah, it was this big thing. So that's exactly how grammar school was for me. So.
Mm-mm.
It's whatever. But yeah, Lucian ends up finding out the same way that this kid, in my class found out, and all hell breaks loose.
He
I don't
makes
think
a
that was all
racket.
hell.
Well, he makes a racket, which summons the guards, which summons Tristan, which then has Lucian tied up in a dank, dark cell, getting whipped until he has no skin left on his back.
That's kind of hell to me.
Yeah.
The cut.
Yes, he did. He did.
Well,
good
we
there.
figured out the origin of the cut.
Yeah, so it apparently seems to be Tristan. I was trying to think of his name. Tristan, yeah. Which, we kind of learned that it wasn't Lucian as the episode was going on. We have Detective Kinney comes in to get Lucian, takes him in for questioning. Cammy and Vincent kind of go along because they want to watch the interrogation. Lucian ends up realizing Cammy's there, probably with his vampire hearing, heard her behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe could see through the glass. I don't know.
You probably hear her heartbeat and
A
all
two-way
that
mirror
bull
isn't
crap.
truly...
It's
A two-way mirror is glass in... It's a illusion with two different light levels more than it is an actual specially made glass.
right, and we know that vampires' senses are heightened. So we don't know how their eyesight works with those different rays of light and stuff like that. So they very well might be able to see right
It's
through
basically
it.
bright room, dark room. Bright room can't see into dark room. And if you turn the lights on in the dark rooms, then suddenly you can see through both sides. So I'm
thing
guessing
is-
a vampire could see through that.
I don't understand how she doesn't fucking know this already. That he could probably fucking hear her.
I'm just a stupid little human here. I may be some kind of psychologist with an advanced degree, but I'm just a dumb little human.
Yeah.
Just a dumb blonde.
I mean, and
Dumb
I've noticed in the last 2 episodes they're really focusing on Cammy's last name. Oh, she's an O'Connell. Like they keep mentioning it, and I know she's related to the past. And what was his name? I don't
Kieran.
Kieran. In the first season and the second season, we may have heard her last name once. We knew they were related, but we didn't really hear her last name. And they've thrown it in our, they've shoved it down our throat 2 episodes in a row. So I really feel that's going to come back this episode.
Because they made such a big deal in the first season about her family and how they were like one of the head human factions in New Orleans for however long or whatever like that. And then the second season, to my memory, they kind of let it be dull and didn't mention it as much
Well, I
or
mean,
bring it up.
She did you did get to get peeks into her family vault where all the magical items were held.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Which I think that's what's going to come into play with the family friend foe thing. Someone's going to get into that vault and they're going to find something magical.
Don't forget Detective Kinney was just like, I'm going to find out what's going on with your family. So that's a whole other thing though. There's that's kind of on the back burner for right now, but it'll come back into play. That's the way the writing on the show works. Is they seed something, make it a big deal, and then they totally don't mention it again for a couple episodes until you completely forgot about it, and then it's just like, oh yeah, remember this?
Oh yeah, the thing.
Yeah, so there's that. But so Lucian compels Kinney into letting Cammy come into the room and talk because he knows she's there. He tells Cammy the whole story, and by the time it's over, Cammy really believes him.
Now, I'm down with the whole Tristan is the one cutting these people's faces and everything like that, but I'd like to remind something that we figured out last episode, and probably from the episode before. Tristan wasn't in New Orleans when the first bodies showed up.
You don't know that.
Well, the end of last episode, true, but the end of last episode, he was in the middle of some Tibetan monastery, like, I'm leaving for New Orleans now, Aurora. Like, implying that he's never been there yet. He hasn't been there yet.
I mean, as we know, the whole thing about Vampire Diaries and the originals right now is that time isn't exactly present. It's all over the fucking place.
Well, yeah.
That could have been
I don't
weeks
know.
ago.
I think it would have stated it was. I don't know. You're right. I have no idea. I still don't think it's Tristan doing it.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's Tristan. I definitely don't think it's Lucian. Lucian's too obvious.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some other vampires running around. Right?
I think all this monastery stuff with Aurora was way before, and Aurora's actually the one doing the killing.
No, because Aurora just called at the end of the episode, and she's just like, I'm on my way.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so she goes, I'm on my way to New Orleans, so I think that is in real time. But my question is Aurora part of Elijah's sire line, where like Tristan is, or is she part of Rebecca's?
I'm gonna go with Rebecca. It makes sense.
I mean, that's where they're leading us to think, but it's really hard to say.
I mean, this episode I got the weirdest feeling that Lucian and Tristan are working together. I don't know what's making me think that, but the whole thing with the body showing up, because I'm just going to assume until I've showed concrete proof otherwise that the body showed up before Tristan was in New Orleans and someone else is planting them. But I don't know. I just got this feeling that they're both working together and they're trying to play Elijah and Klaus and the Mikealson family.
Yeah, I guess that works. But I mean, like, with this whole war of the sire lines, if Aurora, Tristan, and Lucian were, like, if the brother and sister that were so connected in real life, like, when they were living, are different sire lines, and there's this war...
I understand.
And you saw them working together in the monastery, Tristan and Aurora. Why would there be a war between those two star lines? Maybe it's just between Elijah and Klaus's, and Rebecca's is just off having Lucy times.
I know, and you're right. And then why would Tristan and Lucian be working together? Because they're different sire lines. Eliminating the respective original would eliminate their lines. Unless Dom's theory is right and they found a way to break the whole sire line dies with the original thing. Maybe this magical item that who Lucian mentioned could kill Elijah that they think they know of, or was it Tristan? Whoever mentioned that they think they found that item that can kill Elijah. Unless this item will do so without killing the whole sire line, and there's other items like it for the originals, then that's the only way I could see them working together.
I'm wondering if it's not even necessarily to preserve the sire line, but to transfer the sire line. Like, what if they transferred it from Klaus to Lucian? And now the sire line is attached to Lucian. So if Lucian dies, that whole bloodline dies.
Yeah,
that
but
would
Lucian's...
be stupid.
It would be very stupid because it would have to... Lucian is just an ordinary vampire. They're so much easier to kill than an original.
I understand, but who's to say that the bloodline isn't tied to the being of an original?
I don't know.
And all that power goes with it.
It's just a theory I had. What I mentioned before. It's
because we know as vampires get older, they get stronger, and being an original makes them the strongest, So if transferring the bloodline also transferred that power over to them,
I mean, being an original makes them the strongest. Plus, there's a couple of extra bonus perks like immunity to certain things that would kill a normal vampire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is all that on top of it. But
I mean, we also had that whole thing going on with Marcel, right? So Marcel's there. He's in the middle of a meeting, talking to his vampires. He's like, no feeding off the locals. No feeding off the tourists, especially don't feed off the locals. And then this girl, Aya, comes in. She's like, wait, I just want to talk. And Marcel's like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, get out now. And she's just like, nope, I'm telling you something. After I'm done telling you, I'll leave. And Marcel's like, fuck off. And they just get into this big fucking war. And she ends up tearing the place apart, knocking Marcel out. She gives Marcel an offer, which, is blood bags and daylight rings for, their assistance. And, they're part of the oldest society of vampires that's, led by Tristan. But they're responsible for countless wars, plagues, and assassinations. Mm-hmm. So this group is a big deal.
Yeah. So and they're going to Marcel.
Why wouldn't they want the sire line under their control? You know?
I I don't know. And see, this is a confusing thing. Go to Marcel, and this also leads me a little more into the whole they figured out a way to do this without killing all the sires, because you go to Marcel to get him and all his vampires to help you, Elijah Sireline, fuck over Klaus. But they would never do that because they know full well that by fucking over Klaus, they themselves will all die. So why in the world would they
Marcel,
help
yeah.
Tristan?
Marcel is definitely part of Klaus's sire line.
If he had, yeah, and there's no real choice. There's no betraying his sire line, because if he does, he and all of his vampires die.
Right.
Period.
So
That's
that's
it.
why I think there's a way to transfer the sire line. That's the only way that I could see them to get Marcel to agree is, oh,
That,
Marcel, would you like to be the lead of the new sire line? Transfer all Klaus's sire powers over to
I
Marcel, and if they're
I like
easily,
eliminating it
you know,
entirely. I like the eliminating it entirely. The whole transferring thing. Just either of them will, because we've been talking about this on the Vampire Diaries show. Because we've seen 3 years in the future. That spoils the originals. We know Damon and Stefan are still alive. Klaus can't possibly be dead because they're still alive in 3 years. So eliminating the line, this whole line thing entirely, or transferring it, which I kind of like less. It
yeah.
sounds dumber in my mind, but either of those would make the Vampire Diaries make sense thematically right now and no longer spoil the originals.
It's not that it makes.
It's not going to make it. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It doesn't make it make any more or less sense, but it does allow you to justify if characters could die.
That's the word. Thank you.
So that's more of a phrase.
Because until that happens, right now Klaus is invulnerable for the next, unless they do a time jump for the next 3 seasons of the originals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's out of the question. I think we'll see a time jump at some point. But, I don't know. But I want to know where this weapon is to kill the original, because they've been talking about the White Oak Stake. Like, it's been brought up. We don't know where this weapon is. We don't know who has it. It doesn't seem, from the wording and stuff, it doesn't seem like Tristan has it. So...
No, and you gave me the exact idea of where it could be about 12 minutes ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, in the Cammy's family's vault of magical items.
Ooh.
Didn't I mention that?
Maybe you did. I don't know. When Dom was talking about it, when we were talking about it, it hit me in the side of the head. Like,
you sure that wasn't just your wife throwing something at you?
The thing,
she might have
the
mentioned
thing
it.
is about the vault is Marcel's been in the vault, and if the White Oak Stake was in there, he would have found it.
Doesn't necessarily have to be that.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a White Oak Stake.
It could be the ashes or whatever. I know, but
It
like
could be
even Lucian said when
different
he first came in that Klaus said, yeah, all the White Oak is gone, and Lucian said, "Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure?" And that's what that kind of doubt is. What put that into my head? Like
there is a splinter of White Oak,
But I mean, I mean, it could be something entirely different. It could be an anti-magic stone or bomb or something. Like, oh, you activate this and everything in a 1 meter radius, all magic is dispelled immediately. Guess what? Original is technically a magical curse.
That goes back into last season of Vampire Diaries. What if one of the originals went into Mystic Falls?
There you go. Right, there was a whole anti-magic field.
I was going to say, what if the Travelers aren't really dead and they're coming to the originals?
Oh, God. Oh, no. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I think Mike just hung himself.
I will if the Travelers come back. Sorry, it's not that I didn't like the Travelers. It's just that was a depressing season.
Yeah. We also had Klaus and Elijah when they went looking for Lucian, not knowing that he was in the precinct, with Cammy and them, went over to his penthouse and found that witch lady.
Whose name I can't remember, but...
Yeah. And they fed off her, got a vision of Marcel and Cammy used in Lucian's plan. So... Yeah.
I don't know if it was directly in Lucian's plan, but they got a vision of Marcel and Cammy, because remember, the whole prophecy is about their demise. So they got a vision of Marcel and Cammy having something to do with their downfall, whether it's part of Lucien's plan or just the whole overall.
Yeah, they're under the impression that it's for Lucien's plan. That's why they go seeking him out. But that
Because
brings
at the
me
time they didn't know Tristan was in town. Sorry.
right. But that leads me to like, are Lucien, Marcel, are they considered family? Because there was the prophecy talking about one by friend, one by foe, one by family. You know, like, are Marcel and Lucien family because they're technically part of the bloodline? Like, is that considered family? Like, what is
I
considered
don't know.
family?
I mean, we saw Klaus and Elijah talking about that, and they did consider Marcel family, but I don't.
Is it
Because he's
someone?
not blood.
Is it like, yeah? Is it real family, like blood
Right, but then
family?
that goes into like adoption stuff too. Like, if you adopt a child, is that family? Like, then you always hear that family is not just about blood.
That's true. And you know what? The CW does make that kind of an apparent thing that they push. So, I mean, Klaus did adopt Marcel.
So yeah,
And
it'll
it's
probably
not even
be,
that, but they are literally family tied by bloodline now.
They are, yeah.
You know, vampire family.
Wow, that opens up a lot of the family option and less of the foe.
It does.
because Klaus is obviously looking inside his own family at, you know,
What
immediate family.
Yeah.
What if this sire line, like this whole prophecy, one if by friend, one if by foe, one if by family, what if it turns out that it's all the same person?
One person.
Yeah.
Who's friend, foe, and family?
Friend to one, foe to another, family to all. You know?
See, I
Ooh.
was thinking that,
Ooh.
because Cammie's a friend, she's not family or foe. And you just saying that made all the family options just pop right on up because of Sire line, they're all family.
Yep.
She's the only one that's just a friend.
Yeah. No, I know. But like, take Lucien for example. You know? Lucien can be considered family. Could kind of be considered friend to Klaus. Can pretty much be considered foe to like Elijah. But he's also friend and foe to Klaus, I want to say.
Yeah.
He could kind of fit both roles, in which they even talked about that they don't know which one he falls under. And, you know, family as well, because blood. So he kind of fits all three right now.
Could say a few years ago, Lucien's probably like, hell, I'm gonna dick over Klaus and just kill him good and all that. And then all of a sudden, whoever died first, Finn or Cole, Finn dies and his whole sire line goes, and Lucien's like, God damn, thank God I'm incompetent. Because, yeah.
Well, they didn't really know when Finn died, but when Cole
Yes.
died, it confirmed it. So,
Oh, okay. So, yeah, he's probably
They
sitting back like,
suspected.
wow,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
God I never went through with my plans of killing my master.
Yeah, because they even said it last week, I think it was, that they suspected when Cole died, or when Finn died, that it was attached to the sire line. And then when Cole died, it confirmed it. So, but yeah.
Thin out the vampire population while you're at it.
Pretty much. I mean, the only other thing that really happened this episode was just Haley kind of readjusting to human life. And,
Yeah. We're gonna fight with bow staffs in a gym, and then you're gonna get mad and you're gonna beat the shit out of me.
and then
And
it
then
was
you're gonna
sexy bite time.
then you're gonna see blood on my face and want to eat fuck me.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I didn't really see a purpose for that at all in this episode.
Sorry, the only way that's horrifying image, and I just thought of like cannibalistic nymphomaniacs for some reason.
I mean,
Pick up ideas
it
for
kind
kids.
of was. It's to show that Haley is still, she's super primal, and she's definitely not going to reconnect with Elijah. It's like everybody's still trying to ship them together.
I don't want to say
and-
she won't reconnect with him, but she's just as equally connected to Jackson as she is to Elijah, because she is both vampire and werewolf.
I don't mean like that. I mean romantically. Like, she can she's obviously still friends with him because of the whole thing with Hope. But as far as
she's
that
only into
type of
Jackson right
relationship-
now because Jackson's into that kinky shit. As soon as he can't deal with that anymore, you know.
No, I'm pretty sure he said that he likes her the way she is right now, so she's not changing anytime soon.
I mean, the one thing that she did bring to mind, which was really disturbing for me, she said, you know, what if Davina decides to blow that candle out and I'm holding Hope? And I was just like, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
They're not going to do something like that. on TV, because that would just be awful.
Yeah, I mean,
But
they didn't mention Davina. I mean, that was the only mention of Davina this episode. So I'm suspecting that we see more of her shit happen next
Yeah,
episode.
and I can't imagine even in turning into a wolf that Haley would do anything to hurt. Like, there's the whole motherly instinct in all animals. She'd probably smell a familiar smell and be like, "Leave baby alone."
I don't even think she like that's not an issue for me. It's just the whole part of her like transforming into a wolf while she's standing up, holding Hope,
yeah,
Oh,
and
and
then
dropping her on her head.
dropping
Okay.
her.
yeah,
I think that's where
yeah,
she was going with that.
yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, outside of that, this was a really good episode. It had a lot of like crazy in-depth story stuff going on. It had nice flashbacks, and what I really actually liked about this was like the whole the originals learning their abilities.
Yeah.
Right? It's the first
Yeah.
time that they've discovered that their blood heals, and they clearly don't know about compulsion yet, and they had no clue that they could turn people, and it's just like watching them discover this for the first time, because not only is it the first time they're doing it, it's the first time in the history of vampires that this is
History.
happening. So to see that is just so cool.
Oh, they're gonna love it when they can figure out they can compel people.
Oh yeah, I can't wait
Like
for that.
that's gonna be.
You,
I
you
think
know,
Rebecca's
Rebecca's
gonna
first. Yeah,
Rebecca's gonna be the first one to do it, and she's gonna love it. And
She-
of course, she's gonna be like, "Guess what, brothers? Look what I can do."
I want to see them have a fight with one particular person. Maybe it could have been what's his name, Tristan, before he was turned. Because we still haven't seen that story, how Tristan became a vampire and all that.
yeah.
But I would love to see Klaus and Elijah on opposite sides of the room having different ideas of what they want Tristan to do. And Klaus is compelling him to do something. Elijah compels him to do something else, and they just keep going on a compel war, like back and forth, tearing this guy apart. And then when he finally becomes a vampire, like realize, because you get all the memory back from your compulsions, and haven't realized that they were playing him and fighting over him this whole time, and like that's how he got to the point he's at. And I would love to see something like that. So
I mean, we know that originals can compel vampires. How long is it till they realize that they can also compel vampires? Right
Right.
away? Or
Maybe some amount of time. I don't know, but you know what? Maybe that's why Aurora's crazy, because Rebecca compelled her so many times. I'm thinking back to Men in Black. Like, how many times are you going to keep frying her brain? You're going to give her brain cancer or something.
maybe.
Maybe that's why Aurora's utterly insane. She was compelled like 5,000 times by Rebecca having fun.
Yeah, I mean, the
Or-
obvious choice is for her being, on Elijah's sire line to be with Tristan, but then she had the relationship with Klaus, so there's possibility that either Klaus himself or even Lucian turned her, so she could be part of Klaus's bloodline, or just Rebecca's for the sake of differentiating it.
I just had this horrible image in my mind that maybe she's gone and lost it because she kind of has this love-hate relationship with her brother because her brother pulled something on her like Daenerys in the Game of Thrones.
No,
Oh God, no!
no, we're not bringing that into this. No.
Honey, the furthest this show ever goes is PG-13. I don't think they're going all the way into that category.
Yeah, no.
I mean, they can,
What I would love to see
fairy dust it.
What I would love to see is somebody who is actually part of all the bloodlines. Like the blood got mixed somehow. Like Klaus, Elijah, Rebecca, Finn, Cole, whatever. All the blood got mixed together when they fed and died with that mixture of blood in their system, and they're actually like a new sire line.
I wonder if they ever tried that.
I don't know. I would love to see something like that. The look on Mike's face. He's trying to process.
I'm trying to figure out how that would work.
Yeah, like
I mean,
said,
they
he's
just
trying
have
to
to be like-
process it.
Be like, oh, drop. Okay, your turn. Drop. Okay, yeah, your turn.
No, just mix it all into like a chalice or something and just chug it.
5 equal amounts on the atomic level.
Doesn't necessarily
administered-
have to be equal.
I think
I-
it would have to be equal for this kind of curse
I'm
magic
saying
to
like 5
effect.
equal amounts, like equal to the point of like the same amount of atoms in each drop given at precisely the same time. I mean, precision down to the quadrillionth of a second.
Of course, you would have to break it down to the atomic fucking level. Because...
Well, yeah, but like it would have because otherwise it's like whoever's blood was given like the millisecond last, or whoever's blood was technically the most powerful. So probably Klaus's because of the hybrid shit in him, or Elijah's because he was the oldest.
I'm just saying, what happens if it's all mixed and you turn? Like,
I know, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Doesn't have to be equal proportions.
You know what? That's not what you're thinking. You're thinking of atoms and science bullshit. This is magic.
I'm trying to figure out how it would work. Would Elijah's take precedence because he's the oldest and the strongest technically at that time?
I think it would just make a whole new sire line of everything. You
They
are
don't
part
have
of
to
all the
explain
sire
this.
lines.
This stuff doesn't have to be explained.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Abomination. Is that what we're going with here?
Can you imagine how powerful that vampire would be? It would be like
probably not much
being
more.
on the original level, I would say.
Yeah, probably not much more powerful than a regular vampire.
I don't know.
That's what you say. That's what you fucking say.
Yes, I know. I don't have the magic of
You've
the
been
TV
wrong many
writers.
times before.
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't have the magic fingers of the TV writers.
Speaking
who
of
can write
magic,
down-
you're all fucking wrong about season 3 of American Horror Story. So, you know nothing.
I missed the last episode. Anyway, again, not the writers. Can't write bullshit and make it come true for the show.
He's just a non-believer.
So, next week, we will take a walk on the wild side. Because that's the name of the episode. Oh yeah, the Strix. That's the group of, that's the group that, Aya is a part of. The Strix. In order to uncover what his old acquaintance Tristan is really up to in New Orleans, Elijah considers attending a gala thrown by a mysterious group of ancient vampires known as the Strix, while Haley invites herself to attend with him. See, it's not over. There, Marcel is approaching an enticing offer made by a mysterious woman named Aya, but he quickly realizes that things are not always what they seem. Elsewhere, when a vital component of Lucien's plan goes missing, he and Klaus form a tentative alliance in order to find it. So is that Cammy, when Cammy goes missing?
Possibly.
I don't know. But just because Haley invites herself to go with Elijah doesn't mean they're still connecting on a romantic level.
You don't think Klaus is going to try to pull some... Elijah's going to try to pull some moves on her?
No, he already made it clear that he knows her intentions, he knows what her mind is, and he's moved on. As much as he doesn't want to, that he has.
We will see. We will see next week. Nikki, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYVNOM24.
Wow, that's fucking speed writing over there. Mike, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Thilladren, THILLADREN.
Okay, so I gotta top this. Alright. Hold on.
The preemptive drink.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon. PHENOMEDOM.
This is Kevin McAllister, the father.
I knew it would get him.
Oh my god, that's exactly what I was thinking as I was doing it, so thank you very much for that reference. You can find us all on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week, this is Kevin McAllister, the father.
Oh, God.
One of those little refrigerators you gotta open with the key.
Fuck you.
I broke my wife. I love it.
An extra large cheese pizza just for me.